Brussels has pulled the wraps off its $825 billion coronavirus recovery plan. It's been dubbed Next Generation EU. It has climate change, digital technology, and also social justice really at the heart of it, with tens of billions of dollars being earmarked for things like clean energy, cohesion funding for the poor member states, and also the procurement of medical equipment for any future health crises. But there are likely going to be battles over the distribution of this money. The plan calls for 2/3 of the money to be handed over as grants. The remaining would go towards loans. There's also likely to be friction over how this money is going to be paid back because it could involve new taxes. When it comes to the winners, Italy, Spain, France, they're going to be getting the lion's share of this money. When it comes to the losers, it may be the richer nations like Germany because they could be paying the biggest part of this bill.
The French president describing this day, Wednesday, as an essential day for Europe, now that the European Commission has proposed this $820 billion recovery fund for sectors and regions in Europe in difficulty. Emmanuel Macron saying that the agreement he signed with his German counterpart Angela Merkel 10 days ago paved the way for this move from Brussels. President Macron also saying that we must now move quickly to adopt an ambitious agreement with all our European partners.
Much of the hard work had already happened here in Germany just to get to where we are now with this European Union proposal. Chancellor Angela Merkel was able to use her political capital, perhaps gained from the coronavirus crisis, to get her Conservative Party on board enough to put forward that Franco-German proposal last week for the $550 billion recovery fund, which really forms the basis of the European Union proposal. That in itself was a sharp U-turn for Chancellor Merkel, who'd rejected similar ideas back at an EU summit in March. However, the EU proposal goes further even than that Franco-German proposal, something that will now be up for negotiation.
This proposal contains many elements of what we had discussed between Germany and France, and it contains elements that many other member states had mentioned, for example, these guarantees or loans, and now it will be negotiated.
I think there is a general understanding here, both among politicians and the public, that this pandemic really is an existential threat to the European Union, and with Germany's focus and economy so intimately intertwined with the EU, they really understood, or many people here understand, the need to compromise on certain things here. That being said, I certainly wouldn't be very surprised to see the final proposal look quite a bit different than what we heard so far in Brussels. Chancellor Merkel also said that she hoped to form an agreement relatively soon to get the proposal to national parliaments by the fall in order for it to go into force by the beginning of next year.
172.7 billion euros will go to Italy, the highest sum to be allocated to any EU member state. 81 billion in grants and 90 billion in the form of loans. But is it enough? Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte is pleased. He tweeted that it's an excellent sign from Brussels and it's going in the direction Italy has indicated. The issue of whether the fund is available through grants and loans is divisive in Italy. Right-wing opposition have previously said that any payout involving loans would sacrifice sovereignty. Euroscepticism has increased during this pandemic. Any reluctance from northern EU member states to financially help Italy has felt like a lack of solidarity for many Italians.